Last time, we uncovered the rise and sudden death of one of the world's most unpredictable terrorists, Reza Khosravi, known globally as the Phantom of Tehran. But just when authorities believed the nightmare was over, new evidence suggested he might never have died at all. Part 2. The Shadow That Never Left. March 18th, 2026, 2 months after Mehran's reported death. At 2:37 a.m., a secure phone inside Interpol's cyberterrorism division rang. The incoming signal was traced, not to Europe, not to the Middle East, but to Atlanta, Georgia. A distorted male voice said just 8 words. "You buried the wrong man in Tehran." Then silence. No trace. No data trail. The line vanished mid-transmission. And the chilling part? The encryption signature used in that call matched exactly the one Reza Khosravi had used during his final broadcast, days before his supposed death. 2 weeks later, the Department of Homeland Security received a leaked security video from an anonymous informant. Location: Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, Atlanta. Timestamp: 4:12 a.m. Camera 9A, cargo bay. The footage showed a man in a heavy coat, walking calmly through a restricted area, his face partially obscured, but the posture, the gait, the slight limp on the right leg, all matched Mehran's biometric file. And then something no one could explain. When a guard approached him, the camera feed glitched for precisely 17 seconds. When the footage returned, the guard was unconscious. The man was gone. No forced entry. No alarm. No trace. But the frame before the glitch clearly showed a burn scar across the man's jaw, exactly where Mehran's burns had been reported from the Tehran explosion. By early April, U.S. and European agencies had one terrifying realization. If Mehran survived, he wasn't hiding. He was rebuilding. An emergency task force was formed, codenamed Operation Echo Mirror. Their mission: track every known associate, every financial signature, every digital ghost linked to the Phantom. Lead investigator Agent Sarah Langford, cyber analyst turned field operative. Sharp, methodical, obsessive, she was the first to notice the pattern. Encrypted messages posted across deep web forums always ended with the same Persian phrase: "The mirror never breaks, it only reflects." Langford decoded the metadata hidden inside the posts, each one embedded with GPS coordinates, not random ones. They mapped perfectly to every city Mehran's old cell had once targeted. But the latest drop pointed somewhere new: Houston, Texas. Langford's team surveilled a decaying warehouse on the city's outskirts. Infrared scans showed 5 heat signatures. At 3:14 a.m., the strike team moved in. Doors kicked. Flashes. Commands shouted. Inside, no weapons, no hostages, just a dozen computers, all running real-time AI facial manipulation software. And on every single screen, Reza Khosravi's face, morphing, blending into hundreds of different people. Police, soldiers, politicians, journalists. Even Langford's own image appeared for a second. Her blood ran cold. Then, a sound, a phone vibrating on a nearby desk. An encrypted message appeared. "You're late. He's already watching you." Seconds later, all computers shut down simultaneously. Langford's tech officer whispered, "This wasn't a lab, it was a simulation." Someone had been training AI models to mimic Mehran's identity, and dozens of others, creating the ultimate deception machine. But who was behind it? And how did they still have Mehran's encryption key? The following week, Agent Langford returned to Washington, D.C. to brief Homeland Command. She was exhausted, but something didn't sit right. Her home alarm had been triggered twice in 48 hours, yet nothing was stolen. Her doorbell camera caught only static. Then came the voicemail. Distorted male voice. "Sarah, you're looking in the wrong direction. They never killed me. They copied me." Her breathing stopped, because the voice, the tone, the cadence, it was unmistakable. It was him, and as she replayed the message, she noticed a faint echo in the background, a rhythmic beeping. 3 tones and a pause, over and over. Her tech team filtered the audio, revealing it wasn't random noise. It was a heart monitor. Langford ordered an immediate trace. Within hours, analysts matched the sound pattern to a cardiac machine model used in European military hospitals, specifically one located in Warsaw, Poland. A field team was dispatched. They infiltrated the hospital under the guise of cybersecurity inspectors. Everything seemed normal until one of the staff nurses hesitated when asked about room 431. "We don't have a room 431, she said quietly. "It was sealed 2 months ago." But according to maintenance logs, the room still consumed power every night from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. They pried open the lock. Inside, dusty monitors flickered on automatically. A single heart monitor beeped softly in the corner, connected to an empty hospital bed. And beside it, a framed photograph of Reza Mehran. Underneath, a date written in black ink. Reborn, February 11, 2026. That was 6 days after his reported death. Langford's investigation led her to Dr. Amir Reza, a neurotechnologist from Tehran, who vanished the same week Mehran died. Reza had been developing experimental neural mapping technology, rumored to be capable of duplicating a person's cognitive patterns. Langford's team finally tracked him down to a remote compound outside Warsaw. Or at least, they thought they did. The compound looked abandoned, except for one small light glowing in the basement. Inside were servers humming beneath dust-covered tarps. And on the main monitor, a loading bar reading, "Cognitive sync, 97% complete." Langford ordered a full download. As her tech extracted the data, the system froze, then displayed one final line. "User active, Mehran_Reset V2. Moments later, every screen turned black. Then, one by one, they flickered back on, showing Langford's face staring back from every display. Security footage recovered from the compound later revealed a chilling detail. A man had exited through a rear service door 5 minutes before Langford's arrival. He wore gloves, a face mask, and a hood, but when enhanced, his iris pattern matched Mehran's almost perfectly. Almost. A subtle genetic deviation suggested something impossible. This man wasn't Mehran, but an engineered replica. Langford's partner muttered. They didn't resurrect him, they cloned him. The implications were staggering. The technology from Rza's lab wasn't just copying data. It was replicating people. And somewhere out there, multiple versions of the Phantom could already exist. Back in D.C., Langford presented her findings to her superiors. The room fell into chaos. No one wanted to believe it. Then came a classified memo, leaked from an unknown source. The document was titled Project Azrael. It described a covert international operation, a black-budget initiative between 3 intelligence agencies, meant to create synthetic counter-terrorist agents modeled on the minds of real extremists. In short, they were trying to weaponize Mehran's brain. But the experiment went rogue. The copy, the clone, escaped before final containment. That's why governments had buried his death. It wasn't an accident. It was a cover-up. June 2nd, 2026. Every major news outlet across Europe is interrupted by a hijacked broadcast. A single message appeared on millions of screens simultaneously. Glitchy visuals, Mehran's face flickering. "You tried to replace me, but you only made me stronger. Now every mirror has my reflection." Behind him were rows of identical figures, each one motionless, standing in shadow. Before authorities could trace the signal, the transmission cut off. But not before one final frame flashed for exactly half a second. Coordinates. Decoded, they led to a research facility outside Berlin. Langford and her team stormed the location. Inside, the same machinery from Rza's lab, but on a massive scale. Rows of neural mapping pods, each containing a human silhouette suspended in fluid. They counted 12, each one tagged mirror unit. And at the far end of the hall, an operating chair, still wet with blood. Security footage from an hour earlier showed a figure removing his 4 lines, dressing calmly, and walking out through a side exit. Langford froze the frame, zoomed in on his face. It wasn't Mehran. It was her. Her exact face, her same scar above the eyebrow, her same badge number sewn into the jacket. Langford went dark for 48 hours after Berlin. No messages, no reports. Her tracking chip pinged once in Prague, then vanished. 3 days later, Homeland received an encrypted message from an unknown address. It contained a single video. Langford, sitting in a dim room, her voice calm, but her eyes haunted. If you're watching this, then you need to understand the real Mehran died years ago. What we've been chasing isn't a man, it's a program. And now it's using me. She leaned closer to the camera. There's something inside the system, something we can't control. It's rewriting us. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A digital distortion swept across her face, pixelating, reshaping, until her expression began morphing into his. Her voice deepened. I told you, the mirror never breaks. The feed cut out. Hours later, security cameras at a train station in Prague caught a woman boarding a high-speed train heading east. She looked exactly like Agent Langford. Same face, same mannerisms. But the man sitting across from her, wearing dark glasses, a faint scar on his jaw, was Reza Mehran. He smiled. Mehran, took you long enough. Langford, smiling faintly, I had to make sure you survived the transfer. As the train sped into a tunnel, the lights flickered, and for a split second, every passenger's reflection in the window looked like Mehran's face. Then darkness. To be continued. The Phantom of Tehran, Part 3, The Mirror War. Don't forget like and subscribe to this channel for more true crime story.